Hello and welcome to your brand new Netball Shot Pro shooting correction machine. Today I'm going to take you through how to set up the machine and then also how to coach your athletes to make sure that they're developing the most efficient and effective shooting technique. To start with, we've unpacked all the boxes. Now the only difference for you will be this pole will actually come in two pieces. You need a size 13 wrench to be able to put those bolts together. Once they're together though, place the shooting arm post together. Then the next part we're going to do is we're going to actually take this mechanism. Now yours will come with a little latch on it like this, which is fine. So we slide that over the top and we just fasten that by tightening that orange bolt at the back. Now from here, we're going to take this little latch off. We're going to pop it through back here. There's a little bolt hole there. Now that will actually stop the shooting arm from coming back down too low. Okay. The next part is putting our shooting arm in. So we take this one in. Now for the shooting arm, you actually don't need to put this all the way in. It only needs to go in just past the screw hole, enough for you to be able to tighten it up, keep it in place, and then we take the ball. Now if you're a right-hander, you want to make sure that the ball is open side to the left hand. If you're a left-hander, just spin it around and pop it in so that the open side of the ball is on the right hand. For me though, today, I'm going to pop it in on the left-hand side. I might just move it this way a little bit. It does have brakes, so to stop it from moving, so just pop the brakes on down here on the two front wheels. And then we want to set the height of the machine. So right now it's quite low. The way to set the machine for each athlete is to make sure the bottom of the ball sits around the forward height. Okay, so for me, I'm going to pop it up a little bit higher. That's probably still a little bit too low. I could go up a bit higher, but for now it's going to be okay, just to demonstrate how to actually set the players up, or your athletes up. First thing is we get them to stand directly under the ball. The flight path of the ball, we want to make sure it comes from the top of our head, okay, right through to the full extension. We want to try to remove releasing the ball from in front of the head, but also from behind the head. So if we place it just enough, just above our head, we use the 3 panels in the ball. So our middle finger runs down the middle panel, and then our 2 other fingers either side run down the panels either side of that. So from here, go nice and high. You can use our support hand. Now we're going to try and coach a shorter shooting path. So rather than bringing the ball right down to my head, I'm going to try and create a shorter shooting path. So what that looks like is that I'm just bringing it down slightly. I'm using my elbows and knees to bend at the same time, but then I'm going to shoot through the ball. Okay. You can see that the ball actually doesn't come down to my head height. So the shorter shooting path will make sure it's a little bit more efficient for the goal is to replicate. If we have a longer shooting path, okay, where we come right down here and then release through, there's just a little bit more margin for error when it comes to repetition under pressure. So from here, you can coach a number of things. You can coach each phase of the shooting technique. If the area that you're looking to work on with your athletes is the shorter shooting path, then all we do is we just practice this movement here, okay, where we actually get them to just work on getting used to bringing the ball down slightly. If it's the connection between our elbows and knees, we can use the same method, where we're just focusing on this movement, where we're getting connection between our elbows and knee bend, and then the extension, if it's the flick. So from here, all we do is we can have one hand and we're just practicing bending and releasing. So we're still using the same concept of beef, balance, eyes, elbow and flick, but for the most part, we're coaching the rhythm and a shorter shot path. It's quite versatile, so you can move it around. You can utilize the ring as a visualization, or you can actually coach your athletes to close their eyes and start working on building the stronger neural pathways to build the mechanics of the shot. So same thing, we close our eyes, go through the shot, the release, and then we catch the ball on the way down. So from here, it's just repetition. So we would recommend spending maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes before training, then going to put some shots up with a ball under the post, then coming back and just repeating that, because the idea is that they get more repetition in a shot routine that's consistently the same without the outcome. If we were to coach athletes in an open session and give them feedback on their shot technique, but send them directly under the goal post to practice, and the first 2 miss, chances are they're going to go back to some of those old habits. So the shot machine is designed to help create healthy habits that are repeatable under pressure. A couple of things that you might find with your machines as they are brand new is there's a little bit of stiffness in the strut, okay? So may not move as fluidly as mine does, but that will open up over time. And the other thing is the bearings on the ball, okay? Your ball will spin, but it might take time for us to open up the bearings so that we actually get a nice and fast spin on the ball. So the more it gets used, the easier it will become to spin the ball on the bearing. So now take a closer look at the balance portion of the shot, but more where the ball is sitting on our hand rather than our feet. It's a common error that we find in goal shooters technique is that we have the ball placed right in the palm of our hand. Now that does bring margin of error in because the length or the distance the ball has to travel from the flat palm to releasing through the fingertips is longer, okay? But also the more purchase on the ball and with nerves and performance, sometimes performance anxiety, is that there's more grip on the ball, which means there's more room for error as well. So how we want to place the ball on our hand, like I said in the last video, we want to make sure that we utilize our 3 middle fingers on our hand. We use each of the panels on the ball. So from under here, you'll see on this side, I've got the word inspire and then I've got 2 panels either side. So all I'm doing on the back side of the ball is placing my fingers like this. Then what that does is it actually lifts the ball outside, bring it back down, outside of my palm. So we've got really good purchase on the ball, but not too much. Now we're just relying on our finger control. So for young athletes, this is going to be really important to use the shot machine to make sure we're just practicing on keeping our wrist positioned in a nice strong spot, but also the placement of the ball sits up on the top of our palm into our fingertips, not on the base of our palm. And from here, it's easy to make sure we release the ball the same every single time.